Right. Ajay. You know, with Ajay, whenever I have an appointment, I never go on time. And he has enough time. I asked him yesterday, how do you find? He says, he was advising me, this is how you have to do things. All right. Ajay, each man is different with different capacity. You as a leader, how can you guide and get the most out of these men? Actually, he always... No, as I said, you know, when he discuss anything, he put a lot of pressure. He wants perfect, nothing else, you know. He wants everything perfect. So the man like this, I think you are the ideal person to answer that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love the question. So what do you as leading men say to all these men, like on the side, like you just killed them before? So, well, you know, it's a... You know, I try to, okay, the various pressures of work, right? Various pressures of work. Obviously, with the media infiltration, and you see there's a certain setting up of standards, right? And it's not been very easy in Sri Lanka, right? And one thing that I realized when I started my entrepreneurial journey 20 years ago is. And someone I was talking to recently, who's an established person, saying, "Oh my God, elections are coming." I said, "Okay." So I said, "Everyone has elections, right?" Then, and I met that guy recently, and I said, "You know, every time I meet you, there's a problem. Every time I meet you, there's always a problem." So first there was tsunami, then there was this thing, then there was this thing, then there was this thing. Like every year, there's a problem, and I realized that we have a problem with the perspective, right? And I gave a talk 4 years ago, and I asked a group of people seated there. I said, "Tell me the most troubled or the worst place on earth right now." And a lot of people said Afghanistan. That's when that whole thing was going on. Remember, all those people are leaving, right? And I said, "Okay, so do you think, can there be a millionaire in Afghanistan? Think, can there be a guy who's like, who's the richest guy? Let's research the richest guy in Afghanistan." And then we researched, and there was a guy who lives in Dubai, but provides oil through this. I said, okay, so he's the richest guy. Now look at his lifestyle. People are getting bombed, people are getting this. He's making his millions right there, right? So how different is that guy, or how difficult is this guy's world versus a guy who wants to go to Mars? There's one guy on the earth who wants to go to Mars all the time. So how difficult is his work? Is going to Mars easy, or doing businesses in Afghanistan easy? What is easy? It's a perspective, right? So if you don't have perspective, so you'll have a problem. So when people tell me, "Oh, the election's coming," I said, "You know, guys, I've been doing business in Sri Lanka for 29 years. I've never had a good year. But I've had best years and better years every year. Because I don't believe in the fact, the problem is a mental perception, right? So that's why you have Elon Musk, right, trying to go to Mars, crazy guy, and you have a guy in Afghanistan making millions. And we have problem with elections are coming. Oh my God, now the rain's going to come. Now, oh my, so many holidays. So work. So what's your perspective, right? So it's a question of, it's a mental perspective. And we are our minds are so trained in hearing conversations through, I think I can say this, we have another partner in our new group, okay, who's doing a new venture. Last night, he sent a message saying, I hope you heard that message. He said, "We must meet our accountant to see our plight." And I picked the phone. I said, "I never use words like plight. If you want to work with me in this company, then you have to change your culture, because I never use word plight, right? I use word like challenges. I use words like," and then he said, "Oh no, I'm being honest." I said, "I'm being honest as you are. the way you see a plight, I see a challenge. Right? So, and you to start changing. So now I told Fauzil as well, stop using words like, oh my God, no. You know, you're creating a mental bubble and a problem because you don't understand that your words have power. When you say something, you should carry value behind it, and your energies come behind the word, right? Now, you ask me, right, what to tell men, so I'm telling you how to tell men, right? So how can you go out and perform well if you're already saying there's a problem, right? And my other problem is with my companies I am always starting new things every year, and I have the same team, right? I do far more things than Fauzil does, and I try very hard not to be late, right? And because it's a valuation of time. There's time is not running out. There's plenty of time. It's just a perception. So if you can shift your perception, and I was telling Doctor the other day, Sunet, 2 days ago, you get dictated by your external environment, right? No, your internal environment should dictate your external environment, is your number one thing. You can't be a slave to an external environment, right? And that's why you have a man going to Mars and a guy doing business and making millions in Afghanistan, because the external environment is not defining their character, it's the internal, right? So if you can start, it's a perspective. There's never a problem, and there's always a problem, right? So it's a perspective, and that's what I would give as an advice. Yeah.
All right. Good one. Thank you, Ajay. All right.